wrapped in a blanket and covered up by life vests. Now we're learning what may have caused Florida teenager Anna Kepner to die aboard that Carnival cruise ship. A source telling us that Kepner was killed by asphyxiation, likely from a bar or arm being held across her neck. Preliminary information also finding that there were no signs of sexual assault and that there did not appear to be drugs or alcohol in her system. Police say no arrests have yet to be made, but we are learning the stepbrother is under investigation in the case after being named as a suspect by Anna's stepmother during a court hearing in an unrelated case. This comes 3 weeks after Anna was killed and her lifeless body was found stuffed under the bed in her cabin on November 7th. Let's bring in our investigative reporter, Olivia Rubin, along with our contributor and former FBI agent, Rich Frankel. So, Olivia, these new details definitely add a lot to the answering questions that people had.
Certainly on a story where there has been so many questions here, Kira, and just a really tragic situation. But like you said, a source briefed on this investigation is now telling us that Kepner died by asphyxiation, as you said, likely from what's known as a bar hold, which could be something like an arm being held across the neck there. The FBI has declined to comment on this. The medical examiner's office has declined to comment on this. But we're also told that investigators found 2 bruises on the side of Kepner's neck. So that goes along with asphyxiation there. The source, as you said, also telling us that preliminary information indicates that there were no signs of sexual assault and that there did not appear to be drugs or alcohol in Anna's system. However, the autopsy and toxicology reports that would confirm those details have not yet been completed. So as you said, Kira, still so many questions, and even with this new information here, still so many questions that remain.
So, Rich, we finally have a cause of death, but still no suspect in custody. So what's the FBI doing right now to change that? It's very interesting what the stepmother said about the stepbrother.
Yeah, the fact that the stepmother said that the stepbrother was actually a suspect, raised it a little bit in the eyes of law enforcement. I think, those of us on the outside, that it's not just a person of interest, but, may even be a more direct investigation of this person. But the FBI is going to keep looking into all potential suspects or subjects. They're going to be looking at anyone who had access to the room. They're going to be looking at the card keys, both of crew members, of family members, and of course of Anna and her stepbrother. They're going to see who was going in and out, and who was the last person, in fact, to leave that room. They'll be looking at all the cameras. They're also going to be looking at all the social media or phones of these subjects and suspects and the victim to see if there's anything there that can help guide them to who, in fact, committed the murder. Now that they may have more information about how Anna was killed, they're also going to be looking at that forensic potential evidence. In other words, if it was an arm that was used, are there any marks on any subject's arms that would correlate to where the chokehold might have been on Anna, if that's in fact what did happen.
All right, we're still going to follow the case, of course, until we have the final details. Olivia, Richard, thank you both.